Today we are going to continue units and measurement. Okay, my name is Tejeshwar Singh, and last class where we left was uses of dimensional analysis. Okay, so now we are going to do the uses. So last use that we did was basically I showed you that it is used to find the formulas of between different relationships. We did a case of like T is equal to 2 pi root L by G. Yes, I hope you remember. So how this relation comes into existence, I showed you. Okay, this 2 pi is the constant, and it is found out by experimental values, but these L and G you find out by this use of dimensional analysis. Okay, now the next topic is there is another use of this dimensional analysis, and that is there are actually three uses. The first use was to find the correctness or trueness of a relationship. Okay, whether the side dimension on both the sides are same or not. Okay, and second use is to find the equation, and the third use is basically to find the conversion factor. Okay, so basically it is used like, I will give you an example. Like you want to find force. Okay, now for force there are two quantities, mass or you can say energy, it's up to you. Okay, so basically force is basically you need two quantities, mass and acceleration. Okay, now if for example there is one force that is given to you in, see, there are two forces. This force is given to you in CGS. CGS means centigrade unit. I told you this, in this unit we use all the units in centimeters. Okay, so and like the mass, force is mass into acceleration, right? So in this one the unit will be gram per mass is kg in mks, so in this CGS it will be gram. Okay, acceleration will be gram centimeter per how much second square. Okay, this is for CGS. Okay, and this force, say that it is given in MKS. Okay, metric conversion unit. Okay, conversion system. Okay, so in that system it will be kg meter per second square. Just assume. Okay, for sake of convenience. So if you have to find the resultant of these two forces. Okay, there might be a resultant force that is acting in this direction. Okay, so you have to find that resultant force. Okay, so how will to find that both of this CGS and K, they should be in the same, I mean they should have the same units. This is in gram centimeter, this is in kg meter. So you can't simply add them. Okay, you can find them using vector addition, I have shown you before. So you can't simply do that. So you have to convert either this or that into the other one. Okay, so how to convert, that is basically the application of dimensional analysis. Okay, so I will show you with an example. Okay, let's convert both of them. Okay, so let us assume on the left hand side ml force will be mass into acceleration. So m acceleration is what, meter per second square, so that will be lt minus 2. Okay, mlt minus 2, okay, is equal to x t minus 2. Okay, now what I have done is basically this one is in the metric unit, and this is in the centimeter. This one is the centimeter one, and this is the meter one. What I am going to do, I am going to just find this conversion unit, that with what value you have to multiply to convert this metric into centimeter. Okay, metric unit into centimeter. Okay, so just write it like this. Okay, actually you will not represent it by this, you will just say, because there are two different ones. So this is m1 L1 T1, m2 L2 T2, because this is for centimeter and this is for metric unit. Okay, so m1 L1 T2 minus T1 raised to minus 2, and this one is m2 L2 T2 raised to minus 2. So see, m1, just write it like this: m1 l1 t1 raised to the power minus 2 divided by m2 l2 t2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to x. Okay, now we have to find the conversion factor. This x is known as the conversion factor. We'll write. Okay, now next thing, just separate m and m, l and n, and t and n, t and t. Okay, so it will look something like this: m1 upon m2 into l1 upon l2 into t1 upon t2 raised to the power minus 2. Right? Okay, or you can just take the 2 minus 2 outside, minus 2. Okay, now what we can do here is that see this, let us assume this m2 is 1 kg, and so this assume m1 is 1 kg and m2 is, assume if m1 is 1 kg then m2 will be in centigrade. I told you m2 is in centigrade, so this will be 1000. So 1 kg upon 1000, sorry, this is 1 gram, right? So we are converted to centigram. If you are converted to centimeter system, so this, if this is in kg, I will write here metric system, and this is a centi system, centigrade system, but you understand that. Okay, so if this is in metric, so this is 1 kg, so 1 kg you will write in grams, so it will be 1000 grams. Okay, it will be 1000 grams. Okay, next one is length. Length in metric is meter. Okay, and in 1 meter and this in this centi, it is centimeter. Okay, so just convert meter into centimeter. So this is 1000, and sorry, this will be 100 centimeter. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, right? And second, it will be 1 and 1 in both the system. The second is same, 1 and use second and second only in both the system. This is also 1 second, this is also 1 second. Just write here. Okay, this is 1000 gram, this is 1000 gram, this is what, centimeter, and this is centimeter, and this is second, this is second. Okay, now just do the simple multiplication. So 1000 upon 1 is 10 raised to the power 3 into 100 upon 1 is 10 raised to the power 2. Okay, into 1 upon 1 is 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 2. Sorry, 1 into 1 raised to the power, since this is 1, yes, so 1 raised to the power minus 2. Anything raised to the power 1 raised 1, and if you raise anything to the power of 1, if you raise anything on the power of 1, so always it will be the same number. So you can leave this, so this will be 10 raised to the power 5. So x is 10 raised to the power 5. This is the conversion factor. So what does this mean? This means that if the force is given to you in the unit of kg meter second inverse, then what will you do to convert it into this gram centimeter second inverse? You will just multiply this by 10 raised to the power 5 to convert it into this. Okay, so this is how you will proceed in these types of questions. So this is another application of dimensional analysis. Okay. Next topic is limitations of dimensional analysis. Let's discuss the limitations. Okay, so the limitations are as follows. See, the constant, I told you about that constant. Yes, constant is, you can only find by experimenting. Constant is always found by experiments. Like I told you that 2 pi, 1 upon 2 pi, you can only find that them by you doing experiments, okay, and that is a very tedious process because you always have to do the experiment like Bob, you have to move and find the constant. It is a long and tedious process to find the constants using experiments, okay. So this is one of the limitations. Second limitation is that this dimensional analysis, it cannot be used to find the formulas where log, trigonometry or calculus, these functions, where these functions are used, okay. Why? Because basically these functions are dimensionless quantities, so you cannot use, because you know that you must have known by now, we have studied trigonometry, I hope you know log also. Basically they don't have any unit. If you find sine theta, is there a unit of sine theta? If there is a value of sine theta, say it is 0.5, so is there a unit after 0.5? No, okay. If you find the log of some function, okay, like log 2 or anything, whatever it is, you know the value, so there is no unit after the value. So because in some formulas this trigonometric ratios can be in use, okay, like there can be many cases like yes, QVB sin theta, okay. Basically this is just a formula. This is a formula for force experienced by a charge kept in a uniform electric field, okay. You must have not studied the formula, I am just giving you an example. So here the sin theta is being involved, okay. So this formula you cannot derive by dimensional analysis because sin theta is a dimensionless quantity, okay. So you can't use dimensional analysis in formulas where you have log, trigonometry or calculus, okay. Next property is that dimensional analysis, okay, it can only be used to find the relationships where the constant is dimensionless. What I mean by this, like I told you this relationship, T is equal to 2 pi under root L by G, okay. Now here the constant is 2 pi, okay, and 2 pi is dimensionless. Is there a unit of 2 pi? No. Okay, but now I will give you another example. Okay, this example is regarding the gravitational constant. Okay, you have not studied it, but this G, it is known as universal gravitational constant. But basically, this is a force between two planets, experienced between two planets. Okay, so this G, it is not dimensionless. It is not dimensionless. It is not dimensionless. So you cannot use this dimensional analysis to find its formula. You can only use dimensional analysis to find the formulas where the constant is dimensionless. Okay, like I will write it. Where okay, cannot be used to derive formulas where constants are not dimensionless. Okay,